Well, hello. Welcome to A Peek into B-School with Terry Johnson. I am excited to share with you everything I can, all the inside scoop, and my own personal experience with B-School today with you. So I am excited and I'm looking forward to answering these questions of yours because they are really good questions, and I'm going to answer as honestly and with as much transparency as I can so that you can really get a feel for whether this course would be a good fit for you. Now, I'm not trying to sell anybody on the course. If it's not a good fit for you, I don't want you to take it. If it is a good fit for you, then this will help you to move to where you want to be. And that's why I'm excited to share this with you. So I don't think anybody is on with me yet, so I might just shoot the breeze for just a moment while I wait for you to get on, because I'm pretty sure several of you are joining me today. But I apologize for not meeting up with you yesterday. It's not that you were any less important than the other things that happened, but the other things that happened were all in that urgent category, the category I try to stay out of. I try to focus on the important things in my life, but the urgent crept in yesterday when our computer decided to not turn on anymore, and my kids had homework on there that we had to get off in order for them to get to class and turn in their homework. And the most pressing issue was my 16-year-old takes classes at the local community college. She was working yesterday morning, and she needed to turn in her 5-page paper as soon as she was done with work. And so I frantically typed it in for her. Yes, I bailed her out, but it was one of those difficult situations where I wasn't sure what else should be done, and I felt a little bit responsible that the computer broke. So that's one of the things I was doing yesterday. There were several things. My son was sick, so I felt like I couldn't leave him alone. My husband was going to watch the kids. He didn't show up. So it was an interesting morning. And then, as it turns out, we were able to get into the wedding venue yesterday afternoon, and that was great. I was so glad to be able to visualize where this reception, it was the reception, where the reception was going to take place. They're renting out this big manor on the hill, and it's booked all the time, but they had an opening for us to get in and take a look. So I did that with my daughter's new soon-to-be in-laws, and that was fun. So again, I do apologize, and you guys are just as important to me as the other things, but those did like creep up on the urgent scale because they were more of emergency status. So thank you for being patient with me. Okay, I'm going to just go ahead and start answering questions. I don't have anyone live on this Facebook Live. That's okay, because I know you'll watch it in the replay, so I have no problem being here by myself and answering your questions. When you do get on, you can also ask them live, and I will say that as I see those of you getting on. Okay, I wrote down the questions and my answers because I do like to be able to think through how to share the information most effectively with you. And so I don't want to miss any of my thoughts. So I will be referring to my paper. So when I'm looking down, you can know that I'm just referring to my answers here so that I make all the points that I want to make so that it can be as helpful and strategic for you as possible. All right, here's the first question. And more than one of you asked this question in different forms. So I kind of took a compilation of them and I'm asking it this way. What makes Marie Forleo's B-School different or more special than the other online courses out there, such as Amy Porterfield's Courses That Convert, Shailene Johnson's Instagram Impact, or my very own Mompreneur 101? Okay, so here is a Marieism. That means something that she's kind of known for, something that people quote her on all the time. And it is this: insight without action is worthless. Now, the way that this plays out in B School is what she refers to as the fun sheets. Instead of the worksheets, she calls them the fun sheets. And so I was really, especially because of the name, I was really surprised by how deep these worksheets are and how much they help you to analyze your current business and determine what you're doing now, where you want to go, and how you're going to get there. So the fun sheets are a critical part of the program. And I'm going to talk a little bit more about that as I conclude. But that is really the meat, is your own analysis and determining where you're going with the program. The other thing I love about Marie is that she has another Marieism. Everything is figure outable. I love that because it makes real world business approachable, and she gives you the know-how of how to build and grow your business. Everything from, and this, it works and it relates to everyone from the solopreneur to the seasoned business owner. Now, I've mentioned before, you may or may not have heard me say this before, that I had been in business for more than a decade when I had taken B School. It was like 12, 13 years. I had been in business already. Yes, I could have said, this is foundational. I know how to run my business, but I didn't, because I think one of the enemies to learning is, I know that already. We tell ourselves that all the time. I know that already is one of the big killers of growth. I know that already, and this won't work for me. Those are the two biggies. And so you have to check those thoughts at the door, really, and instead adopt that that teachable spirit, that what can I learn is the better question or thing to say to yourself, is what can I learn here and what can I glean and pull out of it? Okay, so let me talk about some ways that Marie stands out in particular in B School from some of the other courses and programs out there. One of them that I love about Marie Forleo is that she has a really big heart. She's a very big-hearted person, and in fact, in her video today, she talked about giving over getting. To put your emphasis and your focus on, what can I give? What can I provide? How can I be of service to other people? I love that. And there's nothing slimy about Marie Forleo. That's just the feeling that I got from going through Marie Forleo's course and also her free videos. Now, here's another reason why Marie Forleo stands out. She makes over $10 million a year doing what she loves. Now, I can't even fathom those kinds of numbers. And so it's kind of crazy to even think about. But the point is that I'm making is that she obviously knows what she's talking about. So even if she's going back to basics, she's got some basics figured out that a lot of the rest of us don't. So just kind of the proof is in the pudding. That's one thing that I feel like she's got a great track record. So she stands out that way. Now, I wouldn't be lying to say that I would love to someday maybe make $1 million in a year. That's like this goal that I have. But I'm never going to be in the league of, those that make millions in a year. And 10 millions is like way out there. So I always say that I want to learn from the best, and those that are really out there doing it and haven't lost their heart and soul in the process. Those are the people I want to follow and learn from. Let's see. Something else about Marie Forleo and B School that's different from the other ones that I listed there is that she doesn't teach a single skill. For example, she doesn't teach you how to build a course like Amy Porterfield does, or she doesn't teach you how to really have your Instagram account just like take off and get millions of followers. She doesn't teach a single skill. What she teaches is the foundational skills that you need to build an enduring, a generous, and a meaningful business. So now, this is similar to Mompreneur 101. My course is foundational. And so we are similar in that respect, but there's a way that we are quite different. She has a very general audience, so she can teach business building skills to everybody that are building an online business. My target market and my focus is very narrow. I'm teaching how to build a business when you are a stay-at-home mom, a homeschool mom, someone who has very little time because you are around your kids almost all day long. So we do have a different focus, but a similar approach, I guess I would say. Now, that said, I know several of you in this group have taken my Mompreneur 101 course, so you will be more advanced than some of her students. But then I considered myself a little bit more advanced as well, just because of the number of years I'd been in business and that type of thing. But like I said, going in with the mindset of what can I learn? How can I apply this to my business? How can I take action right now? Those are the things that are going to give you the most growth. And there is so much in here that you can dig in and find and learn and implement that will take even someone who's got experience in business, would maybe consider themselves a step or two above a beginner, and really help you to take off from there. I'm going to tell you in a couple minutes about my personal experience and how that worked for me. Okay, what else? Another way that she's different is that Marie's course will give you a roadmap so that you know where to put your focus. She's not going to, again, give you specific skills, but she's going to help you analyze your business so you know where to put your focus. And your focus might be different from my focus or her focus or his focus. So that's what I learned that's different about her. Now, here's what you won't learn from Marie or Amy or Shailene or Todd Herman or Jeff Walker. You are not going to learn how to do all of this around caring for your family 24/7. And that's where I feel like Mompreneur 101 and the Mompreneur Masterclass comes in. And this is my special sauce. But I learned that in B School. I learned what my special sauce was. So I know that most of you are already members of Mompreneur 101 or the Mompreneur Masterclass. But if you aren't, I'm just going to throw this out here. I'm not going to talk about it in great detail because I want to wait till later. But I will be throwing in the Mompreneur 101 course if you buy B School through my link. So I'm just saying that will come with it. But the other thing that I'm going to be providing, and nobody has this, is that I'm going to be providing weekly videos about how you take her information and basically translate it to how will this work for us? How will this work for a stay-at-home mom or a homeschool mom who is operating her business around her kids 24/7? So I wanted to just mention that special aspect, that special sauce that kind of only I can provide because I've already been through B School and I've created my own course, is to provide how does that translate for us? How can we put this into action and really implement it so that we can take off with it without putting in 8, 10, 12 hours a day doing so because we ain't got that kind of time. Okay, so let's see. What else? This next paragraph's a little long, so let me just read it because I don't remember what's in it. Hold on. So I'll give you all the details about what I can provide for you in terms of support. Oh, okay. So I can't really lay it all out for you now about what I'm going to provide for you, but basically I'm going to provide you total hand-holding experience through B-School to say, okay, here's B-School, here's the lesson this week. How does this work for us? How are we going to implement it? I'm going to hold you accountable because it's where action happens, is where when you put it into action, that's when things really happen for you. So I just want you to know that that's there. And I also want you to know that Maria is amazing all by herself. She doesn't need me to translate that information for you, but it's something that I can offer you. And so take it or leave it. I'm going to provide that kind of support for you in B-School. So I just wanted to let you know that's one of the things that is different. Okay, now to the fun part. I'm going to talk about my aha moment because this was the question. What was my aha moment in B-School and how did it help me create Mompreneur 101? Okay, so I love that you want to know this. And I'm excited to share my big takeaways from B-School. But first, I got to give you a little bit of backstory. So here's the backstory. I started our business in 2001. In 2004, we incorporated and we kind of had a little bit of a surge in growth because I was putting a little more effort into it. By 2005, I was ready to throw in the towel. We had grown, which is a great thing, right? But it was also a curse because all of a sudden I had little kids at home and I'm trying to build this business and it was growing beyond what I could handle. Hi, Angela. I'm glad you are joining us. So it was growing beyond what I could handle and I was kind of freaking out and orders were coming in and again, a great problem, right? But I felt like I was neglecting my children. And that is one of those feelings just that hits you in your gut and you go, ugh, I don't want to do this. This is not what I signed up for. So in 2005, I was ready to throw in the towel and I talked to my husband about it and I said, I don't know what to do. And he said, well, tell you what, next summer, 2000, so it was, I think, yes, it was 2006. He goes, next summer, I'm going to take the summer off and you and I are going to do this together. So just hang on. So I did. And he took the summer off and we worked on it together. And by August 31st, he said, you know what? I'm going to quit my job and I'm going to just work with you. That was amazing, but also super freaky scary because we realized, okay, now it has to work. We have no safety net. We have nothing to pick us back up if we mess up or whatever. So that's how we got going. But then here's the other thing. So 2005, 2006, 2007, we saw some really good growth. And then we just flatlined, totally flatlined. There was nothing I could do to grow the business. I just felt like I was stuck. I didn't know how. I loved marketing, but I wasn't sure if my marketing was working. So I had a lot of questions, doubts, feeling like I'm not sure that I'm doing this right. And our family was growing. They were getting older. We needed to put braces on kids. We had, college looming eventually, not quite for a few years, but that's still that feeling of, oh my goodness, that's coming. And it was just one of those moments of, okay, what can I possibly do to grow this business? So what I did is I decided I'm going to go to business school. I'm going to get some more tools in my tool belt and I'm going to figure out what is wrong and what I can do to fix it. So I started looking around, saw how incredibly expensive MBA programs are and business schools. And so I came across it's called the Goldman Sachs 10,000 Businesses Program. Goldman Sachs have made decision that they are going to try to reach 10,000 businesses to help them grow their small business to the next level. Well, I applied because this was free. This was a free program. I say free. It was going to be expensive in the end, but the actual education part was free. So I applied. I was so excited because I thought, surely I'm going to be able to get into this program. Well, the problem was they called for an interview. So we had an interview. They had set it up like months in advance. So I tried to do everything I could to be prepared for this interview. And in the interview, they asked me a lot of questions about my balance sheet and my profit and loss statement. And they were picking out specific numbers. I had those. I printed them out from QuickBooks. I was prepared. But they would say, okay, now what about this number? What percentage of this number, is of your total revenue? Or why is it this percentage of your total revenue? And what can you do? What have you thought about that could maybe change this number a little bit or whatever? And I realized, oh my goodness, I don't know my numbers. And it totally was the thing that was my Achilles heel. And I did not get accepted into the program. And I was really sad about that because I could tell in the interview that my answers to their questions was not hitting the mark, and that they were already starting to check out and go, she's not for us. She is not the business owner for us. So I felt sad because I knew that my lack of clarity was what was interfering with this potential opportunity for me. Well, in the end, I kind of looked at it and saw that the online training was free, but you still had to go to, it was, I think, a month on site, and you had to pay for your room and board and some other things. So in the end, it was going to be over $5,000 that I would have spent for this program. Still totally worth it. But I thought, what can I use that $5,000 for to get something comparable? And that's when I found B-School. And B-School was a lot less money. So for me, it was like, oh, I need to give this a try and see if I can make this work. And so I joined B-School, and I was determined to do the homework, do everything, because I wanted to implement what I was learning. And I really was motivated to grow and learn. So anyway, here's some of the aha moments I had when I joined B-School, and some of the things that just made all the difference for me personally and for my business. So one of them was, I already mentioned this, but I worked through each and every one of the fun sheets. Marie calls her worksheets fun sheets, which is pretty fun. But I thought they were going to be really light and fluffy because she called them fun sheets. I thought, oh dear, what have I gotten into? But they were so rich and so deep, and they really helped me to get clarity in my business. And I think something that I had never really experienced before was just that clarity of knowing my numbers, being able to analyze my business to know where I am right now and where I want to go. So that was huge for me, to know my numbers. And in knowing my numbers, here's something that I learned. And this is kind of sad, but this is something that I learned. I was spending 80% of my time on a product or project that was barely breaking even, or even going backwards each month. That's kind of an awful thought, that I was spending 80% of my time on something that was doing relatively nothing for our business. So that's another part of that, was that I understood why I was focusing on it. And let me tell you why I was focusing on it. So the product or the project that I was working on was something called Quest Magazine. I'm going to get into this a little bit more in just a second, but I got tired of blogging about homeschooling. I kind of felt like I had already been there, done that. I'd blogged about everything in terms of homeschooling that I could. My publishing company was very specific on history and geography, but I learned early on that no one really wanted to read about history and geography on a blog. That's not why they're reading. They're not reading to learn something to teach their kids. They're reading for their own encouragement, their own empowerment, their own inspiration. And so I couldn't blog about history and geography. That wasn't cutting the mustard, as my sister likes to say. It's not cutting the mustard. So I was blogging about homeschooling, but I didn't love blogging about homeschooling. I loved writing about history and geography. So we created this magazine called Quest Magazine. And in the first few months, it was doing great. It was making, $2,000, $3,000 a month, which I considered worthwhile. But every month it was a little bit less and a little bit less and a little bit less. And after a while, it was bringing in about $600 or $700 a month. And that sounds like that's still okay, right? But I was paying someone to assemble it all, and I was paying someone else to lay it all out. And in the end, I was either just breaking even or going backwards. We were not profitable, and we were spending so much time on that magazine because it was the content that I loved providing. So long story short, I knew why I was spending 80% of my time on this project. So I needed to start looking at it a little differently. It was important for me to know where we were making most of our money. And what I had learned was that it was about 20% of our products that were making 80% of the revenue. Now, isn't that so typical, that 80-20 thing? But it was so true. So the 20% of the products were the map track and the child's geography. And so I knew that I needed to put my focus there to really grow those product lines. But the other thing I realized is that, okay, if I get rid of my Quest magazine, I'm going to have nothing to write about, and I'm going to have no place to write about it, and I'm going to lose my passion. Now, I was writing books, so I wasn't totally losing my passion, but in terms of regular content, because we all know that content is king, right? So regular content, I was going to lose that. So I started thinking about, what do I really love? And besides history and geography, which I really love, the other thing I really loved about my business was the actual marketing and learning about marketing and reading about it. And so I thought, I'm going to start a new blog and I'm going to write about marketing. So yes, that is how I got involved in creating Mompreneur 101 and the Mompreneur Masterclass. It was born from figuring out my own passions in B School. So I wrote here that I discovered how I can write and create content around something I loved rather than writing about something that had started to bore me, which was homeschooling. I'm not bored to homeschool. I love homeschooling. I've been homeschooling for 18 years. I was bored writing about homeschooling. I felt like I couldn't come up with enough content to fill up 52 weeks of blog posts on homeschooling. That's just me. So anyway, I just wanted to let you know that that's kind of where the idea came from, to start blogging and writing about marketing, because I love marketing. So that was born out of B School. The other thing that I really learned in B School, another huge aha moment for me, was that I had become the bottleneck in my own business. I felt like I was the only one who could do certain things. And of course, that's not true. In fact, I can find other people to do things that do it much better than I do. But somehow I felt like I was the only one who could reconcile the bank statements. I was the only one who could, maybe write a newsletter. I was the only one that could do this. I was the only one that could do that. So because of that, and there's so many things to do in a business, I was becoming the bottleneck. So we weren't moving ahead very quickly because I had to do it all. Yes, I had an assistant, but I only let her do certain things. And there were other things that I wouldn't those were my things, and I didn't let her touch. And it wasn't because I loved doing them. I just thought that I was better at them than anyone else. It was really a sad mentality that I had when I realized, no, you know what? She's better at this than me, and I need to delegate this to her. And I also realized that I can hire more than one person, because I had hired somebody back in 2012, but I could have a team. That was a crazy thought for me, to think that I could have a team and I could have other people working so that we could move at a quicker rate forward rather than being stuck because I have to do it all. So that was another huge aha moment for me in B-School. And let's see, so how it relates to Mompreneur 101, I did come across the idea of Mompreneur 101 in B-School, but to be honest, it was Amy Porterfield's Courses That Converts a course that actually helped me with like the nitty-gritty details of putting the course together. So just to finish answering that question. And, you know, Mompreneur 101 has some similar themes to B-School, but I feel like they go really well hand in hand, because B-School is bigger. It's meatier. It really digs in deep and has you, analyze and get to the heart of the issues. Mompreneur 101 I think it's a great program, and it definitely comes from a very specific angle to say, how can you do this while being a homeschool mom, while being a stay-at-home mom? How can you pull this off? But I think they work really well together. Just to say that, I don't think that Mompreneur 101 replaces B-School. I think it's a really great complement to B-School. Okay, which brings us to my third and final question. Unless you have any while we're live, stick them in the comments. My third question here is, excuse me, why do I need B-School, and what will it do for me? So here's my answer for that. So if you have any need for clarity, direction, focus, or impact in your business, then B-School is an incredible investment. Now, I can't do this legally, but I would love to say that I know beyond a shadow of a doubt that the amount of money that you would invest into B-School will come back to you if you do the work, if you do the homework, which is laid out. It's not hard. You just have to do it. So that's the thing. We can get intimidated and go, oh, there's work. That's why she calls them fun sheets. You don't get intimidated. There are fun sheets, but when you do the fun sheets, you will learn from the fun sheets. And then if you implement what you learn from them, you will grow your business, and you will easily make back any investment that you put into B-School. The ROI, the return on investment, is really good. Now, like I said, I can't promise you that, because you just can't. I don't know if you're going to do the work. I don't know if you're going to implement it, whatever. But if you do, the odds are in your favor. So I just want to mention, some of the graduates of B-School, there's actually like thousands. I think she's had 35,000 people go through her course, which is incredible. And when I talk to people, I hear all the time, oh yeah, I took B-School. I took B-School. And, some of her more famous graduates, I guess, would be Amy Porterfield. She contributes a lot of her success to B-School. Gabby Bernstein, and there's a lot of other big name successes. I met Laura Ball, who's going to be doing our Facebook ads workshop on Thursday. I met her in B-School. That's how we got to know each other. And then we developed our own mastermind with just a few women that we wanted to work together to implement what we learned in B-School, which is a great thing to do, to develop your own mastermind. And that's something that I can provide. So just so you know that that is one of a really great aspect of the class, is the things that you can do outside of the class as well. So anyway, I wanted to mention that I'm going to be going through B-School again this year, because I am once again in need of clarity. That that was the biggest thing that I got from B School 3 years ago. And so I'm really excited to go through the program again, because I'm back at another point. I'm at a new point in my business where I need clarity, because that's what happens, right? We gain clarity on one thing, we move along, and then next thing we know, we are unsure about something and we need to come around and gain clarity there. And so I am really glad that Marie offers a lifetime access to B School, because I'm going to go through it as well. So I have recently read some negative reviews about B School, saying that it didn't go deep enough, but there tends to be a common denominator with those negative reviews, and that's that they didn't do the work. I can guarantee you, if you do the work, you implement it, you will grow and you will feel like there is depth in the program. If you just watch the videos, yeah, you might go, I'm not sure if there's enough depth there, because the meat of the program is not in the videos, although the videos are great. The meat of the program is in the work that you do in your own business and making it happen. So let's see. Yeah, I just said here that if you just watch the videos and hope for transformation, you're not going to get much out of it. You really do have to apply. So I also wanted to say that I am a big believer in continuing education. So this past year alone, and my continuing education did start with Jeff Walker and Marie Forleo. That's where I started actually paying for education. Before that, I just tried to learn everything I could for free, which you can find great stuff out there for free. But if you value your time, which I do, having someone package it and put it together in a nice format where it's very sequential, where you go A, B, C, D, and you follow through that way, that's a huge time saver, rather than trying to find everything that you can for free online. So that's where I've arrived, that my time is super valuable and I want to invest in something that, yes, I'm going to get that money back, and absolutely you will if you do the fun sheets. But yes, I have invested in 4 courses in this past year alone. That might be a little much. I think 2 or 3 is probably pretty good, but I have taken 4 because I've had some very specific things that I wanted to learn this year. One of them, I learned about membership sites so I could do the Mompreneur Masterclass. So I took that last spring. I took one on Facebook just this past January. I've in the process of taking a course on coaching, because I've really moved into being a business coach and I want to be the best business coach that I can be. So I'm taking a course there. And also last spring, I took Jeff Walker's Next Tier in his program. He has kind of a ladder in his product launch formula. So I went on to the next level of that. And that's a year-long course. So I will be done with that in April. No, maybe it's May. But I can renew and continue. I haven't decided yet. I probably will. It's been really, really good. In fact, this past weekend, we had our virtual event. He has 2 live events and 2 virtual events. So we spent the weekend together virtually, learning some great stuff about lead generation and Facebook ads and just really growing our business. So getting our marketing just right and then accelerating it. So we kind of put on the, put it into overdrive this weekend, which was really fun. We learned a lot of great stuff. And I could easily say, I know that already. This doesn't work for my business, but I take those tapes out of my head before I enter any kind of continuing education, because if I go in with that kind of mentality, I won't learn anything. But if I go in with what is in here for me, what can I learn, what can I glean, what can I implement, and what can I go and do? And that's one of the things that we did this weekend, was that we actually did it. Like, we did the work and we published it. We did it. And that's the same for Marie Forleo, is that when you do the work, and you actually, implement and do it, you will do amazing things. Okay, that was those 3 questions that I wanted to answer, and I see that there are some in the comments as well. And hi, Sheila and Jen. Glad that you guys have joined us. So no worry about being late, because you can always watch the replay. So when you get off here, you can just watch the replay. Angela says, no, Sheila's first. Okay. Sheila, you may have already answered this, but if you had to choose only one, Jeff or B School? I did Jeff's product launch formula first, and then I did B School. If I could go back and do it again, I would reverse that. I would do B School and then Jeff's program. The good thing about that is you don't have to do more than 1 course in a year. 1 a year is really good. But if you felt like you're ready to take another course, Marie offers hers now. Jeff is also offering his right now. It's kind of funny that they are at the exact same time, because I love them both and I want people to know about them both. But you don't want to take both courses at the same time. Just a bad idea. You would just be overwhelmed, and who has the time? So pick one. But they're both doing it now. And then Jeff Walker will open up his course again in September. Marie will open up hers again next February. So it'll be a year before Marie offers hers. It'll be another, 6 months, and Jeff will offer his. So, yeah, that's what I would say. B School, then product launch formula, if I could do it again. But it really depends on your needs. If you feel like what you really need is to know how to really launch your product, that's where you want to put your focus, then take Jeff's. But those two and Amy Porterfield have probably been the most instrumental. They have absolutely been the most instrumental mentors in my life, in my business. And I work with Jeff a little more closely, but Marie's B School is excellent. Okay. Angela says, at what point would you recommend my biz be before joining? I'm just starting and not profitable yet in my biz. Okay. If you're not profitable yet, one thing that I would definitely recommend, there's a lot of people that join B School and haven't even figured out what their business is. They just know they want to, and they know they want to start right. So you can take B School before you even have a business. You can take B School before you're profitable. One of the things that, I don't know if you watched her video this morning or yesterday, I guess it came out yesterday, is that she talks about making that first sale, getting to that first sale, and what needs to be done to get there. So again, for some of us, that would be a little basic because we've made our first sale. But that doesn't mean you won't still learn something from that process, because we will come out with new products and we will have times when we are needing to make that first sale again. But she definitely deals with that, and she has a whole little mini course to kind of help you get up and running with your business before B School even starts, which is really awesome. I didn't actually take that course because I didn't feel like I needed it. And that's why it's more of it's a bonus, and it comes before B School. So if it applies to you, you can take that. It's all there. It's all, free and accessible. If you don't feel like you need it, you can just wait till B School starts. So that's a really cool thing about B School, is that she understands that a good percentage of her students haven't started yet or haven't become profitable yet. So what stage of biz? So hopefully that answers that, Angela, that you can really be in any stage of your business to take B School. Okay. Sheila says, I've taken 3 additional classes this year in addition to yours. Good for you, Sheila. You are, embracing that continuing education, which I believe wholeheartedly in. And, even the people that are really what we would call super successful in business, they are still taking courses. They are still getting one-on-one coaching. I thought it was really awesome. I was in a course and Michael Hyatt got on, typed, well, how would I do da 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 da? I'm like, Michael Hyatt's in this class. You know, he's a big name out there in the internet marketing and productivity world. And so I thought, in leadership, he's really big into teaching business leaders how to be great leaders. So when I saw him in that course, that he was just a student alongside me, that was really fun. Also, okay, I'm going to forget her name. And I'm even forgetting the name of the program. I met the mother of, is her name Dove? Dove. She has that Liv and Maddie. You guys know that show, Liv and Maddie? I'm blanking on the actor's name. I met her in B School, her mother, because she was working on her business, and it kind of revolved around what had happened with her daughter. She was helping other parents know how to navigate that world. So it's interesting, the people that you meet in these different courses that you take. Okay, Jen says, I'm a huge believer in continuing ed. I've spent a ton, though. I have darn near everything. 2 of Amy Porterfield's, yours, Facebook Brilliance, Instagram Impact with Charlene Johnson, tons of photography courses, the 90-day year. Your eyes would probably pop out of your head if you saw how much I've spent. I'm waffling about B School just because of that, making sure it wouldn't be just another in a long string of courses. I would want to for sure know I have time set aside to do it. I'm still going through Amy's classes. And you know, you might decide that now isn't the time. If you're in the middle of Amy's courses and you feel like you don't have the bandwidth, don't do it. Marie's will come around again next year. One thing about B School that I don't think you would have experienced in the other ones is that, again, it's foundational, but it's foundational for an online business. Your business has been primarily offline and you are taking it online. So I think you would learn a lot there. If you don't have time to do the worksheets, again, just watching the videos and hoping for a different result is not going to make the difference for you. So I would say look at your time commitment and factor this in, because not only do you want to look at your time commitment, that I think it's about an hour or 2 of videos per week. It's not a ton, but it is that, you know. I usually would try to watch it towards the beginning when they were first out so I could work on the fun sheets as the week went on. But another thing you might want to factor in is that I'm going to be doing a live video every week, either Wednesday or Thursday, to say, how does this apply to us? What can we pull out and really maximize in this lesson this week? And that would probably be 45 minutes or so. So you could factor that in as well. So think about that. Think about do you have the time to actually go through the material, because you will get a great return on your investment if you're able to do the work. If you're not able to do the work, you could feel like you've wasted your money. So I want you to look at your calendar and make sure you can do it. Let's see. Follow-up question. What order would you put courses that convert, List Builders Lab, B School, if I was to do B School, or Jeff's? I don't know much about that one. We'll go back and watch the replay. Okay. If I were to do it again, all over again, I would do B School first, or List Builders Lab. List Builders Lab would be a good one to do first. B School, courses that convert afterwards, because you're going to come up with some amazing ideas, and then you might need the technical know-how, which Amy is great about. Okay, you've got your idea. Let me help you put it into place with the steps. 1, 2, 3, 4. Here's the steps. Do this, do this, do this. You just do what she says and you will get there. How do you build a course? Well, this is what you do. So this week you're going to get your website and you're going to set this up, whatever. Next week, you're going to write your content, whatever. I think I got it in order. I think you write your content, you write your outline first and your content, and then you get your website. But it's very step by step. B-School would be more of, let's analyze what you got. Let's analyze where you're going, and let's figure out how to get there. And it's going to be different for this person. It's going to be different for this person. It's going to be different for this person. It's very custom tailored to you. Okay. Oh, and you also asked, and then where does Jeff's fit in there? Jeff's might be after Courses at Convert, because you would then have your course and be ready to launch that course. Amy will give you a little bit of how to launch that course, but Jeff's will really deep dive into it, and you learn way more than how to put a course out there and market it. You learn tons in his course, but I would say that would be the order. And Sheila says, I can't afford anyone but Lance right now, but we are watching these together so that Marie is training him, not me. And as far as free videos go, Marie's are good. Her B-School is way better than her free. Her free ones are good, but it's more conceptual than actionable, her free videos. Jeff Walker's free videos are actionable. If you actually put into action the things you learned from Jeff's, you will make money. You will grow. You will do things that you thought, wow, I had no idea. Now, buying his paid course is way, way better, but his free course is I think it's the best free training on the internet, frankly. So just for what it's worth, if you only have time to go through something free, go through Jeff Walker's free online marketing training series. It's going on right now, and I'll get you the link for that. Okay, so B-School helps you hone in on ideas and a specific business idea. I'm struggling with exactly what I want to do online because I have so many interests and passions. B-School's for you, dear. B-School's for you, because not only will you you will get clarity in B-School. That is the biggest thing that happened for me in B-School was I got clarity. I understood. Okay, and then I was able to focus and channel where I wanted to grow. So, yeah, for sure. All right, good. Are there any other questions that I can help you with? I will go live again. So if you have more questions later, I'll go live again. I kind of want to just do it where just put your question in that pop-up Facebook group. And when I say pop-up, basically that means it's temporary. It popped up, it's going to live there for about 3 weeks, and then it's going to go away once B-School starts, because there's no reason for it to exist after that. So put your question in that group, in this group, and just do #QQ. And when I get enough, 3 was plenty. These were really good meeting questions. When I get enough, I'll go live and we'll talk about them. So I may only give you a day warning that I'm going live, but the replay's good. I love replays. You can watch them on your own time. Now you can't get to put your questions in live, but at least, you can watch them whenever you want. So just put your questions in. Okay, Sheila, LOL, I meant I can't afford to hire anyone except Lance. Okay, sorry, I probably read it wrong. So the plan is for him to go through, to do the work with you and be your first employee. He's sold on the education. That's great. Now, is Lance your husband, Sheila, or is it your son? I think it's awesome if your husband or your son goes through it, because you really may be more of the doer, the one that's like, you know what, I just need to be in the kitchen dyeing the yarn today. And you know what, I really just want to work with the kids and pack the orders. I'm not saying that you're not the brains. You are the brains. But I'm saying you really may be the one that's, you're walking the business. You're the one that's doing the work. And you may really like it that way. And if that's what you love, that's what you should be doing. Another thing you learn in B-School is, what do I love doing and how can I farm out the rest? How can I outsource it to somebody else? And that outsourcing does not have to be an employee. It could be an independent contractor. It could be your kids. It could be your husband. So outsourcing doesn't mean it has to be expensive, but it does mean that you don't have to do everything. So yes, it's your husband. And so let's say that he's just eaten up the online education. He could really be the visionary for your business. And if that works for you as a couple, that's awesome, because someone should be the visionary, the one that's getting the idea of, okay, where are we going? How are we going to map this out? How will we get there? And maybe that's not you. Maybe that's your husband, and that's totally fine. So if he's the one going through it and he's got the time, and it's like, hey, go for it. And I want you to know that B-School is not just for women. A high percentage of her students are women, because she's feminine and she has a big heart and she has a mission, and she's multi-passionate, as she calls herself. A lot of men don't describe themselves that way, but her material is not for women. It's for anybody. And there are men in the course, absolutely, but it's probably more like 30% are men and 70 are women. So just so you know that it's not for women, it's for anybody. Same with Amy Porterfield. Her courses are for anybody, but she tends to draw more women into her course. Jeff Walker, it's probably a 50-50 split. So interestingly, but I just thought I'd mention that B-School is not just for women, it's for anybody. Okay, you're welcome, Jen. And yeah, Sheila, my husband and I have worked together for years figuring out how that all works. Sometimes it's a little bit of a dance, but hey, that's what marriage is, right? And so if you guys can work well together, that's great. More power to you. So that's a good thing. And it's okay if you can't work well with your husband. That says nothing about your relationship. It just means that it's, you like to keep those things separate, and that's totally cool. Alrighty, well, very good. You're welcome, Angela. Thanks for joining me today. Again, any questions, I'm so happy to answer. And I do not want to sell you on something you don't need. And I want that to be very clear, that I'm just here to answer your questions. So, and if I can give you that inside peek to know what this is about so that you can make a wise decision, I'm all for it. And yes, this is an affiliate link that I've provided, not right here, but in other places I've provided an affiliate link. But I only provide affiliate links for things that I 100% believe in. So I would never direct you somewhere that I don't think you should go. So just to make all that clear and to have it all up front, I want you to know that. Okay, very good. You guys have a fantastic day. It is sunny here in Oregon, so I'm looking forward to getting outside a little bit and enjoying the weather, which is a rare treat in February. Okay, I hope you guys have some fun things planned for the rest of your day and that you're enjoying the Olympics, and I look forward to talking to you again. All right, we'll talk soon. Bye, guys.